Hey guys, this is Rustler VXL09 here today to show you how to put on the Strc motor mount for the Slash 4x4 LCG or Rally. Okay, and if you'd like to get one of these for yourself, here's the part number right here. It's ST7460 and B for blue, because that's the color I have chosen. Here it is right here. First, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Okay, and this is all that comes in the package, just this one mount. This is machined aluminum that has been anodized blue. I believe they have it in a few different colors, but blue matches my theme, and I believe this looks good. Okay, and this motor mount does not come with any hardware to put it on. You'll have to use all of the original. So, all that's needed is a 2.5mm and a 2mm Allen wrench. And I highly suggest using thread locker. Okay, so now comes the fun part, installing it. So first thing I'm going to be doing is taking off this motor mount cover, which is held in by this single screw. Next, I'm going to be removing the motor, so I'm going to be taking out this single screw. Okay, and with that screw removed, we can just move the motor to the side. Right there should be fine. Okay, so next we're going to be removing the rear of the car. So we're going to take out these two screws right up here, and there's two screws underneath. So right here and right there. Okay, and with those four screws removed, you should be able to just pull off the back of the car. Simple as that. Next, in order to pull out the slipper clutch, I'm going to remove this screw going to the center drive line. All I got to do is just loosen the screw a little bit, and it should allow the slipper clutch to slide right off. We just put that aside, we don't need to mess with it. So next, we're going to be removing the four screws holding down the plastic motor mount. So, one right there, right here, one right here, and another one hiding right down there. Okay, once those four screws are out, the motor mount should slide right out. Whole bunch of little junk in there. So when you pulled out your slipper clutch, the bearing might have came out on that, or it's stuck inside. So, just going to try to pop it out. Okay, and a quick comparison between the two, side to side. Okay, and before you drop in the new aluminum one, you'll notice there's a screw right down here. That's where the motor mount kind of hooks on. And there's no real hook for the motor mount on the aluminum one, so you're going to have to transfer the screw. So I just put a little dab of thread locker on here and screw it in. Okay, and we can just slide her in just like this. And next we're going to be putting back in the four screws. So one down here, two up here, and another one hidden down there. Okay, once those four screws are installed, I'm going to go ahead and put back in my center drive line. I took it out for just easy use. Okay, and also there is a little cover for the stock motor mount. So we're going to be taking out that screw and putting it into the aluminum motor mount. Okay, and with that little plastic cover on there, we're preventing dust and dirt from getting inside to the gear mesh. So it's always good to have that on there. Okay, so next we're going to be putting back in the slipper clutch. So we're going to grab our bearing, just pop that into place. Then slipper clutch, just like that. And then we're going to re-hook up the stuff down here. So next I'm just going to retighten that grub screw. Okay, so next we're going to be putting back on the rear end. So just slide these two together, kind of move them back and forth until it locks into place. Yeah, right there, I'm good. So I'm going to put back in the 2 screws on top and these other 2 on the bottom. Okay, and when putting back in the 2 bottom screws, they are screwing into aluminum, so just use a dab of thread locker for each one. Okay, so now that we have the 2 bottom screws in, we can put in our motor. We're just going to line up this little gap with that aluminum that's sticking out. So, lining it up. Okay, I'm on. And now, this part of the motor right here has to slide in between the plastic of the chassis and the motor mount. So, you might need to press it in a little bit. And yeah, that's good. So next we're going to get our spacing between the spur gear and the pinion gear. And then once we have that, we're going to put in our screw. Okay, when putting the screw in, we're of course going to have a bit of thread locker on there. Okay, and the final step would be to put on the gear cover. And that just slides down into place. I got a little bit of a snap there. And then just put in this single screw. And here is before. And here is after. Guys, it looks pretty good for the parts you can actually see of it. The main reason I really got it was it's going to decrease motor temps a lot. I think the highest I've gotten my motor so far is 220, and that's pretty high for the Millennium. I'm supposed to keep them under 180, so hopefully I can do that with this new motor mount. And yeah, hope this video helped. And if you have any questions, be sure to let me know in the comments. I'm always glad to answer you guys' questions. Until next time, this is Rustler VXL09, going out.